Welcome everyone to the May All-Staff Meeting. Just a reminder to mute your mics if you're not speaking, and I'm gonna go ahead and let's get this started. So just like last month, if you have a question, submit it through the Zoom Q&A section at the bottom of the menu bar. So instead of putting it in the chat, go ahead and use the Q&A function itself and send those through, and we'll do that at the end of the meeting. Also at the end of the meeting, just before the Q&A, we will show our slideshow of all the throwback photos that you guys submitted this month. So stay tuned for that. And these are the links that you are well aware of for all the updates that are going on within the department and on campus. And with that, I am going to turn it over to Renee.
Thank you, Lauren. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the May Events and Transportation All-Staff Meeting, which is the last one that I will be hosting. I hope you're all doing well, and as usual, we're going to have operational and organizational updates during today's meeting and answer your questions at the end. So as you know, June is a big month for retirements. As we did last year, we'll be having a virtual retirement meeting in June. And we're doing this in lieu of the June All-Staff meeting. So the event is scheduled for June 23rd at 9:30 in the morning. The retirees will include Nubia Canales, Corey Dean, Byron Mahan, and of course myself and anybody else who decides they want to retire in the next month. We'll see if there are any more takers. So keep an eye out for further details. My last day will be June 29th. And Commuter and Parking Services Director Lisa Kerbling will then step in as interim executive director. We should have a replacement for my position by the start of fall quarter. Now, many of you have worked with Lisa for years and you know her well. All the same, I'd like to invite her now to say a few words as we enter this new transitional period. Lisa, take it away.
Thank you, Renee. As many of you know, I've worked for E&T for about 30 years, but primarily in the commuter and parking services world. So I'm really looking forward to this opportunity to help everyone at E&T, particularly as we ramp up for the fall quarter. It's going to be an interesting couple of months. I'm also here to help the new executive director. And for anyone who needs help, here I am. My door and my calendar are open. Feel free to pop in when I'm in the office or to set up a time for a Zoom meeting, and I'm here to help. And with that, I will turn it over to Kimberly Villarreal.
I don't see Kimberly just yet. Give us one sec. I don't see her.
If you want, I could advance to my slides and do mine, and then we can go in reverse.
For sure.
Okay. So bear with me while I just click through to my slides, guys. All right. Hey, everyone. So nice to see all of you guys. Training and organizational development has been pretty busy this past month. We recently teamed up with Business Process Management to have another successful lean team launch on Motor Pool. So the coaches for this team include Gina Beery and Hilda Valdez, and the team itself is made up from employees from Fleet and Transit. So over the next several months, there'll be a lot of exciting stuff coming from that end of the organization. Now, just to give you guys a quick update on the E&T change agents. So this team has been putting in the work. They've identified a list of topics, process improvements, and at our very next meeting, which is actually tomorrow afternoon, we will be prioritizing those topics and putting some of those into action. So more to come there. Now, in the professional development arena, back in March, we kicked off a computer literacy program for our frontline staff. That program will be concluding in June. So now we're getting ready to ramp up what we're calling communication essentials for our frontline staff. Now, this is a 5-part series and will be kicking off June 24th and will conclude July 11th. So this is such an amazing opportunity for all of our frontline employees. And I'm really excited that so many of them have been taking advantage of sharpening their saw and, putting more things into their toolkit. So it's been really exciting. We will be sending out more information in an E&T news bulletin on this in the next couple weeks. So if anybody in our frontline staff is interested in this, please keep your eye out. All right, so in the professional, let's see, in talent development initiative. Now this team has been working the last 3 months on team building, and they've been doing this through an assessment and different activities. So this afternoon, we will actually be debriefing at our monthly session, the DISC assessment, which is a lot of fun. On this particular assessment, you really learn a lot about your learning styles, why you kind of do the things that you do. What, are you a little bit more analytical, and kind of shows you what some of your strengths are. And what's really great about this, when we do our debriefing this afternoon, we'll be plotting this out with the team and identifying everybody else's strengths. So it's really interesting when they get to the team project, so they kind of understand how to work together and complement each other during that process. Now, the next few months coming up, we will be inviting in internal subject matter experts. So these are employees that work in events and transportation, and they're going to share with us what it is that their unit works on and what their role in the organization is as well. So some of the topics will include anything from budget to project management and even process mapping, just to name a few of them. What's really great is for the team to really understand the ins and outs of our organization and get the big picture view. So this really helps tie into our organizational goals and strategic initiatives that we all kind of, funnel up to make our organization as strong as it is. So that's pretty much what's going on in there. They're getting ready to get their projects, so they'll be really busy. But Gina and I definitely plan on sprinkling in some fun activities in between to keep it a little fresh and keep the crew motivated. So now I'd like to get into our employee recognition. So I would like to announce our Employee of the Month recipients for the month of April. We have Ignacio Betancourt, aka Nacho, representing transit operations, and we have Jennifer Belda from Commuter and Parking Services. I think this is a surprise to both of you, so huge congratulations. You guys are awesome, and we really appreciate all that you do. Thank you for being our stars for the month. Now, as Renee mentioned at the beginning, next month we will be hosting our E&T virtual retirement celebration. Very bittersweet event, but we will be hosting it on June 23rd, and we're putting the final touches on that invitation. So keep an eye out for that in the next week or two. So we hope to see all of you guys there. In the meantime, that's it for training and organizational development. Lauren, am I handing it off to you, or should
Kimberly? She is here, so you can go ahead.
So, okay, everybody close their eyes. I'm going to click back in time. This is the only way I know how to do it, so there we go. Okay, Kimberly Villarreal, you're on.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, everyone. Hope you and all your loved ones are doing well. Recently, the university informed the campus of the second choice window for Savings Choice participants. This opportunity is for Savings Choice participants to switch prospectively from Savings Choice to Pension Choice and become members of the UC Retirement UCRP. This is open to employees after they had earned 5 years of service credit. The window opens on January 1st of the 5th anniversary of the calendar year in which you made your initial election, and extends through May 31st, 2026, 5 years later, as long as you are still an active employee when you submit your election. Next slide. In order to make your election effective July 1st, 2021, the election must be made on or before May 31st, 2021. There are a few things to keep in mind while making your decision. Your election is not retroactive, which means that it is for future contributions. Your election to participate in the pension choice is irrevocable, and you will have to remain in the pension choice if you are selected. If you are unsure of your decision, please consult your financial planner, or you may contact a Fidelity Retirement Planner. For more information, it can be found on the link on your screen. Next slide. Current options for a COVID-related leave of absence include the UC Paid Administrative Leave, UC PAL, 2021 Employee Paid Sick Leave, also known as 2020 EPSL, and the Cal OSHA Emergency Temporary Standards, ETS. UC PAL remains available for specific COVID-related reasons through June 30th, 2021. If you are in need of a leave of absence for yourself or to care for a family member with a serious health condition, please speak with your supervisor. The information for 2021 EPSL was provided last month and is available for use through September 30th, 2021 for any of the reasons listed on the form. Please submit the completed form to your supervisor prior to taking your leave. ETS is available for use by employees who were instructed to quarantine due to a positive COVID test and or potential exposure at work. Additional information about COVID-related leaves of absence is available through the link on your screen and on the intranet. Next slide. A general reminder regarding compliance training. All employees who are currently working with on-site or remotely are required to complete UC compliance training. Examples of these courses include COVID-19 prevention training, UC sexual violence and sexual harassment prevention training for staff, UC cybersecurity awareness fundamentals, general compliance briefing, University of California ethics, values, and conduct, access through learning management system LMS site. All trainings are available through the Learning Management System LMS. If you're having difficulty accessing the system or training modules, please notify your supervisor. Next slide. The temporary extension to vacation maximums for policy covered staff has been extended to September 30th, 2021. Beginning October 1st, 2021, employees who remain over the allowed vacation maximum will not accumulate vacation hours until their vacation hours are below the limit. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Kimberly.
You're welcome.
All right, so I am going to give you guys an update on IMC's recent happenings. Last month, we discussed that we were going to do Be Alert Bruins and Bike Month and a whole bunch of campaigns coming up. So just giving you a recap of what we just closed with Be Alert Bruins. We had over 270 quiz entries for our online safety quiz. So that was a lot of engagement on that. Our graphics team was able to create parking structure posters, hang tags to go in the rear view mirrors of university vehicles, as well as A-frames that went all around campus. So we're actually going to keep up this safety signage for the next couple of months just to keep the message going. And then May, as you know, is Bike Month. So that's kind of the theme of our all-staff meeting this month. And I wanted to share with you guys some of the fun social stuff and social content that our team created. And then MPTS will kind of talk about the programmatic side of the things that we ran during Bike Month. So we had a very strong digital campaign with a lot of cool social media content. You got to see a glimpse of it last month with the helmet filter on Instagram featuring Jimmy. We also had our team do video interviews. So interviewed cyclists and talked to grad students and employees about how they've been biking, and also hosted 2 events. So one was Bike Recycling Day and one was the Westwood Pit Stop during Bike Week. So I'm going to give you a glimpse of one of the videos that we had, and you'll get to see a familiar face.
Hi, I'm Jimmy Tran. I work for UCLA Transportation and I manage our campus's bicycle and pedestrian programs. In the past decade, we've worked to make
I'm going to turn this a little bit louder. One sec. There we go.
Hi, I'm Jimmy Tran. I work for UCLA Transportation and I manage our campus's bicycle and pedestrian programs. In the past decade, we've worked to make UCLA bike-friendly by adding miles of green bike lanes, campus bike parking, and other resources that make bike riding easier. We have over 3,500 bike parking spaces, secure bike lockers at 5 different campus locations, and 8 bicycle repair stands In 2019, the League of American Bicyclists awarded UCLA with gold status for enhancing bike culture on campus, making bicycling safer for students and employees, and adding more bike program options. Our work to enhance campus mobility extends off-campus with our collaboration with the City of LA, the Westwood Village, and other public agencies to improve biking and walking connections to UCLA. For example, we're currently working with LA Metro to improve first and last mile connections to campus from the future Purple Line station in Westwood. We're also working with Lyft, one of our electric scooter providers, to bring electric bikes to campus beginning this fall. So now you'll be able to bike up to the hill or to the village without breaking a sweat. If you're a graduate student at Weyburn Terrace or University Village Apartments, UCLA offers complimentary bikes for graduate students to rent and ride to Santa Monica, around the city of LA, and to campus. Adding bike infrastructure on campus not only makes UCLA bike friendly, but makes UCLA a healthier campus and honors UCLA's commitment to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. So hop on a bike, whether it's for commuting, for fun, or for fitness.
Yay.
Hi, I'm Jimmy.
Also, shout out to the graphics team for putting that video together. And thanks for Jimmy for always being our #1 bike advocate in our content and our videos. So as he mentioned, we had Bike Recycling Day. So that was in May, and we got to have someone do a lot of social coverage, and UCLA shared it on their main channel. So Andy was out there taking pictures and sharing content on all of our social media accounts. We also had the Bike Month Westwood Pit Stop. So our team was able to create some fun promo items to give to cyclists who came to visit, including water bottles and backpacks. And then we had our team from MPTS staffing that event. And you can see a lot of people came by because it was hosted next to the farmers market in Westwood. So that was a fun event. And I'm going to show you another video. Actually, I'm not going to show you that video yet. I will save that for the end. For now, I am going to turn it over to Ray.
Good morning, everybody. I'm going to share my screen. All right, is that up?
Yep.
Great. So, good morning, everybody. I'm Ray Manguso, manager in charge of parking enforcement, citation review, and adjudication. And today, I'll be presenting on behalf of finance, systems, and asset. So we're going to start with the systems side of the house. IT Systems is currently working on an AQMD survey solution rebuild. For background, the South Coast Air Quality Management District requires that large employers in Los Angeles survey their employees each year on how they commute to work. E&T hosts this survey for UCLA, but the current solution is outdated and needs to be replaced. So the IT applications team is currently working to rebuild a new solution, using newer Microsoft technologies, and the new solution should be ready in time for the 2022 survey. Next, there's a growing concern as more organizations are reporting data breaches and other types of similar incidents. As a result, the E&T IT group is partnering with Campus IT to roll out the FireEye endpoint security solution, which offers threat prevention, detection, and incident response. The product is currently being tested on IT systems and will be deployed to business user computers and production servers soon. On the other side of the house with assets, we have some office renovation updates. First, the restroom automatic towel dispensers are currently being installed are being installed soon for a hands-free sanitary solution. And next, office space construction is coming along nicely. Room 130, the parking asset space, is currently being painted. Room 126, the hoteling space, painting is also taking place along with wall patching. And in room 101, the customer relations management area, a layout plan is currently being created and the closet and old van pool orientation rooms are being demoed. And last but not least, room 126, the new office to be shared between systems management, the layout has been confirmed, as you can see on this drawing on the right. So that's all I have for updates, and I'm going to pass it off to Marcos.
Thanks, Ray. Let me make sure I'm sharing my screen here. All right. So good morning, everyone. My name is Marcos Fuentes, Senior Transportation Planner, and I will be providing you with mobility planning and traffic systems updates for the end of the spring quarter. So as Ray had mentioned, we recently concluded this year's Air Quality Management District Survey efforts, or AQMD survey, as some of you may know it. This annual survey is required of the university by our local air quality management district with the purpose of capturing how our employees are commuting to work and assessing derived impacts to the region's air quality, depending on the transportation mode choice, Additionally, the survey results give us an idea of how effective our transportation demand management and alternative transportation programs are. Completing the survey effort this year was extra challenging due to the pandemic and with so many of us working from home. Nonetheless, we were able to once again meet the necessary response rate for the entirety of UCLA. So how does this survey work? Perhaps you have seen this diagram in the past, but in a nutshell, AQMD sets a threshold for the average number of individuals per internal combustion engine vehicle, or average vehicle ridership, AVR in other words, at any given site. So in general, the more occupants per vehicle, the better, as it translates to less vehicles on the road and less greenhouse gas emissions. At UCLA, the average vehicle ridership has been set to 1.5 occupants per vehicle. And if a site is not meeting that threshold, then it needs to demonstrate how they plan to reduce single occupancy vehicle use to their work site. However, as you can see from the chart, year after year, UCLA has consistently gone above and beyond the 1.5 AVR required rate through its plethora of alternative transportation offerings. For 2021, I'd like to point out the UCLA campus had an AVR of 2.93, as you can see there all the way on the right. And the main reason was because of the heavy teleworking we've had this year, which means that there were far fewer Bruins driving alone to and from work than in previous years, which is a trend that we would definitely like to continue seeing moving forward. Now, switching gears and going back to Bike Week. So as you may have noticed from the video earlier, this May we celebrated National Bike Month by encouraging students and employees to try biking for commuting, fun, or fitness. We work with our colleagues in integrated marketing and communications to plan several virtual and in-person giveaways. On May 6th, as you can see from the photo, we hosted Bike Recycling Day with COVID-19 protocols in place, of course, on the rooftop of Parking Structure 8 and gave out over 100 abandoned bicycles to students and employees. Participants signed up for an appointment in advance and engaged with our bike technicians on their new ride. We would like to give extra kudos to our colleagues in parking enforcement and parking assets who helped staff and set up the giveaway. Moving on May 20th, we hosted an in-person pit stop with the UCLA Bike Shop at the Westwood Village Farmers Market and gave away over 100 water bottles and bike bags to UCLA affiliates. Participants had the opportunity to support local businesses in the village and celebrate biking on a nice sunny day. As the university prepares for a return to campus this fall, our unit will continue to encourage biking as a sustainable commute option. In the queue for the fall are the promotion for our campus bike resources, a safety campaign for bikes and e-scooters, and the arrival of Lyft e-bikes. On to traffic updates. So if you were daring enough to venture out around this time last year, you may recall when streets and freeways seemed almost like a ghost town, at one point carrying only about 30% of normal traffic volume. Now, fast forward to the present, and if you had to commute into campus lately or simply driven from point A to point B, it may have seemed like there are quite a few more cars on the road, and you would be right to think that. According to traffic figures from LADOT, traffic in the city of LA, like much of that in the LA region, has bounced back to 90% of what it was right before the beginning of the pandemic, a little over a year ago. And while a significant portion of trips are due to things gradually reopening, those telecommuting, like many of us, have contributed to this jump too by having more flexible schedules and being able to run errands in the middle of the day. Now, as far as campus traffic volume is concerned, here's a brief summary of where we are today. So first, a little bit of context. So our daily cap agreement with the city of LA is 139,500 average daily trips to and from campus, as represented by the flat red line on the graph there. Now in 2019, that average was a little bit over 102,000 for the main and Southwest campus. That was our last normal year before the pandemic. In 2020, that number dropped drastically to 37,184, shown by the purple line, or 24,000 trips if we exclude Southwest Campus. So you can see that in the purple line and the green line there at the bottom. Now, as shown by the blue line, since early last year, we have been closely monitoring changes in traffic conditions. In fact, you can see the steep drop in traffic that occurred late last March when the campus first closed due to the pandemic. And since, it has steadily risen to reach about 47% of daily traffic to and from the main campus, a number that we expect will continue to increase as more Bruins return to the UCLA campus. And that concludes all my updates for MPTS. Thank you, and I will pass it over to Bill Sweeney with the events office.
Thank you very much. One moment. Oops. All right. Thanks, everyone. So I'm Bill Sweeney with the UCLA Events Office, and I will be taking a few minutes to talk about the details of what commencement and the UCLA graduate celebration will look like this year, as commencement season is now upon us. 1 minute. So for the first time in recent memory, UCLA will have an all-university graduate activity. Previously, or in traditional commencement years, all the commencement ceremonies are either school-specific or department-specific. But this year, because of COVID, there was a need to have kind of an adjusted all-UCLA activity. How this happened was, at the request of the Chancellor in early March, Vice Chancellor of Student Affairs Monroe Gordon was asked to convene a group to plan in-person activities for all graduates. The reason for this was that there had to be some kind of consistency among the schools and departments because there was a lot of uncertainty about how departments and schools should handle commencements as COVID allowances were changing. So this small group consisting of the events office and campus life came up with a plan, a dual location plan for in-person graduate activities in Drake Stadium for an all UCLA activity and LATC for smaller school-specific or group-specific activities. As COVID infection levels continues to decrease and more allowances were made for public gatherings, in mid-April, the group was asked to expand the plan to include 2 guests per graduate. This original planning group that initiated with Campus Life and the Events Office has now expanded to multiple departments across units around the campus. As in normal commencement years, events and transportation will be highly involved in the coordination and support of graduation activities. The events office will continue to be the centralized point for logistical coordination, but different in 2021 is that we are now additionally involved in student eligibility and registration with CTO and the registrar's office. We're also involved with strategic communications on branding for the 2021 commencements. We're involved in COVID health screening processes, and also virtual commencement services for the concurrent virtual commencement ceremonies, which are still happening. Events and transportation marketing groups will be managing the updates to our commencement.ucla.edu website, and also the upcoming broadcast of the graduate celebration processional live stream, which will take place over 6 days from June 10th through June 15th. IMC will also be helping with produce signage and stage decor backups and stage decor backdrop and the production of such. The Special Events Parking Office will coordinate the traffic control and the parking permits and parking signage for the guests and graduates that will be coming to campus during the celebration. As I mentioned before, there's 2 venues where the in-person graduate celebrations will be taking place. The first one is Drake Stadium. Drake Stadium is designed to be the all UCLA graduate celebration location. It will be an all processional event, and there'll be no seated activity in this location. After checking in at IM Field with their 2 guests, the graduate and the 2 guests will march side by side into Drake Stadium and around the track. When they get to the stage, the graduate will be able to take off their mask and cross the stage and have their name read aloud and in a traditional graduation manner. After they come off the stage, they'll be able to have a pose photograph with their 2 guests. This process there's a capacity of over 200 graduates per hour, which we can have cross the stage over the 5 days or 6 days. That's 50 hours of graduate name reading. All the guests and graduates are going to be asked to park in P4 and P7 for this activity. The second location is Los Angeles Tennis Center and Annenberg Stadium. Because of capacity issues and guest coordination issues, the decision was made to still not allow guests to be in the LATC venue while the graduate celebration was happening, and instead create a separate viewing facility. This location at LATC will be the site of 15 different seated celebrations between June 10th and June 15th. These celebration sizes will vary from 100 graduates to 400 graduates. The two graduates, the graduate and the two guests will check into Annenberg Stadium, and then the graduate will walk to LATC solo, and the two guests will stay at Annenberg to watch a simulcast video of the LATC celebration and the stage cross. And that concludes my presentation. I'm going to now pass it on to Madi Jate of Commuter and Parking Services. Thanks.
All right, good morning, everyone. I'm Madi Jate for Medical and Field Operation Manager. As some of you know, Valley has been closed since April 2020 due to the pandemic. As more and more people begin to get vaccinated and the country start to turn around, more businesses are opening. We are looking to do the same with our Valley operation. Safety precaution. We have submitted a proposal to EH&S to reopen the Valley operation. Within this proposal, we needed to explain how we will ensure safety precautions are met within our operation. What we will be doing to keep our staff, patients, and visitors safe are as follows. Checking the all staff schedule to work as being clear by verifying their daily clearance certificate, wearing a mask at all times, maintaining 6 feet distance, wearing gloves and cleaning after each vehicle, verifying a weekly COVID test result. Reopening Valley. Reopening is not easy as it seems. I am not sure if any of you are aware the large number of our staffing is mainly students. When the campus close, we lose about 75 students. We will need to hire between 90 to 100 students to fully operate all aspects of our operation. This includes Ronald Reagan, Structure 1, and rehab services, not to mention our offsite property like Wilson Center. Hiring marketing plan. IMC has been very helpful with laying some of our groundwork to get us back to our feet. They launched a hiring campaign by creating a marketing plan. This plan consists of A-frame signage we spread throughout the campus, signage that will be installed inside the brewing buses, weekly daily brewing ads, digital communications, digital ads that will be run inside the Royce Hall, digital screens, and also social media. This is my update for medical operations. Thank you so much, everyone. I'll pass it to Ray Moore. Oh, sorry, Riley Moore.
Hello, everybody. I'm going to share my screen here. Oops, let me flip it. Sorry. Just 1 minute. I'm going to flip it around. Hey. Okay, sorry. All right, hello, everybody. I'm Riley Moore. I'm the fleet superintendent. I am going to discuss with you our current FA Fleet Anywhere software upgrade, explain to you what it does, what it does for operation, and the benefits of the upgrade that we're producing right now. What is FFA and what does it do? It's our FFA stands for Fleet Anywhere. It's an asset management program that includes vehicle monitoring, parts and work order management. It does a labor productivity calculator for our fleet staff. It does streamlined department billing, efficient fuel monitoring and billing. Also is an excellent accident reporting tool. The benefits of the software grade that we've added to this system was a new user-friendly technician dashboard. It actually helps the technician access their work that's distributed to them in a timely manner, and what their next job comes up. We also is equipped with a new work order management dashboard that I can manage where the vehicles are, what service is done, what's needed to be done on the current vehicles, and upcoming maintenance that's required. It has a much more efficient reporting system. So if I need to run a report for all the vehicles that are on UCLA campus, what they need in service, when they're due, if they're overdue, it runs a very quick report so I can send off that information to the end user. And we now have a new internal parts requesting tool. So for the technician to be able to communicate to the parts clerk what part they need, how much will it cost, and then the parts clerk can add it immediately and directly onto the work order. And we have a new user-friendly work order dispatching system where there's no more handing paperwork off. There's no verbal communication. It's all done through FA, through a link, and into the technician's dashboard, and they'll know when the next job comes up as soon as I assign it to them. The overall result equals to reduced downtime of technicians and improved operational efficiencies. And that concludes my presentation. I'm going to hand it off to Lauren.
Thanks, Riley. So now I'm going to show you a slideshow with the throwback photos that everyone submitted. So enjoy this. Renee. So shout out to the graphics team and to Robin for getting that all together. With that, I will turn it over to Renee for the Q&A portion, although by quick survey, I actually think we don't have any questions this time for the first time. So
yeah, there's no Q&As, no questions that were posed on Zoom.
all right. Well, that makes everyone's life easier then. I guess that's it then. Thanks for joining us. We'll email out the presentation and the slideshow and the videos so you guys can look at that later. And just a reminder, no June all-staff meeting, so join us on the 23rd so we can celebrate Renee and all the retirees. All right, later.
Thank you, everyone.